you can hear me and you can see me as well. Let me know in the chat box, everyone, as you join. So very good morning, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. This session, as you know, is primarily about how to read, interpret, understand different editorials and articles from different sources. For example, newspapers, magazines, and even books. What we do in these sessions is we basically analyze, learn to read articles in the best possible manner. So as you keep on joining, say a quick hi so that I know you are there. All right. So I can see, who can I see now? I can see Sanjana. Is that right? Sanjana, yes, of course you can do that, no problem. Aditi Agrawal, Tijan, Preeti, Malia, Ashmita, Anisha, Neha, Nancy, Preeti, oh, there are two Preetis, Preeti Kashyap. Then we have Hriday, Hariom, Rutuja. I think Rutuja has come for the first time, am I right? Then we have Devadrita, Sanjana, and many more. Okay, so good to see you all. Good morning. In this session we are going to read a very interesting article. We are going to analyze it, learn how to find the central idea. We are also going to do some vocab based questions, tone based questions, and so on and so forth. And of course in the coming sessions I would keep on changing the type of questions, right? So you be ready for a fun-filled journey. In case you're watching me after the session is over, we have done plenty of other topics already. You can watch all the sessions one after another. You can watch me at a higher pace also. The main reason behind why we do these sessions, as you know, is to work on your language skills, because when you work on your language skills, you do amazingly well in the actual paper, and also when you become a future lawyer, right? And of course our desire is to see you guys here after 2022 CLAT. If you're 23 CLAT, if you're targeting 23 CLAT, if you're targeting 24, then of course after 24. So I want you guys to be here. The one of the photographs next time should be you, right? So these are our achievers, but we want you guys to be here next time. Correct, everyone? Now I can see some more have joined. Laibadi Khan has joined, and Gargi has also joined. Yashwant has also joined. Good morning, guys. Good to see you all. At 10 o'clock you're joining me. Not a small deal actually, because getting up early and then deciding to do something which requires you to concentrate, read, that shows your dedication, right? I would prefer to watch a video of people falling down from stairs and all, in place of reading a complicated article, if my plan is not to crack a high level exam, of course, right? Good morning, guys. Good to see you all. Okay, I think now we can start. What I'm doing is I'm going to show you the article, and I want you to read the article, but I will read along, and we would focus on different aspects of reading, parts of reading, different parts of an article, how to break it down, where to focus, where to skip, where to scan, all those things as we do in this session, right? All right, Liva, that makes my life much easier, right? Okay, Ria Singh, good morning. All right, everyone, let's begin. I hope you can all see the article now. Okay, let me get the marker and then we start reading it. Okay. All right, everyone. Yes, I have the marker. I think we can start reading it now. Ready, everybody? So let's read. Now this article is not political in nature. This is basically an economy based article, commerce based article, insights about it. Very interesting, and I chose it primarily because you guys would face articles from different sources, right? CLAT very clearly in last 3 years has shown that the articles can come from any source. You cannot say I'm going to prepare for law, so I will read only constitution based articles or polity based articles or history based articles. You can't say that. You have to be able to read any kind of articles. As it is in law, you also do business stuff, for example taxation laws, right? So, or labor laws, or intellectual property rights. So you would face these kind of stuff also when you do law. Okay, all right, let's begin now. So the first line says, Stuti, good morning. In banking, by an old quip, work goes by a 363 routine. This is a colon, right? This is a colon. Colon basically means that you are supposed to expect something will follow. Colon basically means some information is going to follow. Work goes by a 363 routine. Borrow at 3%, lend at 6%, and play golf at 3 p.m. Now very clearly my first question is, can you guys tell me the meaning of the word quip? Can you guess? Anybody? Quip, very quickly in the comment section. Anmol, Imtiaz, Kirti, good morning guys on the app. Okay, good morning. All right, Sanjana says witty remark. Sanjana generally shows good vocab and I am very glad. Okay, witty remark. All right, anybody else? Quip. Sanjana says witty remark. Witty is funny, right? Witty, remember, basically means funny but intelligent, not dumb. Okay, wit always has intelligence and humor. Shah Rukh Khan is very famous for his witty remarks. Kapil Sharma is famous for his witty remarks. Very sharp remarks, intelligent and funny at the same time. Okay, joke, chalan, Tijan. Quip means chalan. Am I reading it correctly? Okay, Saloni, good morning. Funny. Okay, so all right. So let me quickly tell you. Quip basically, as Sanjana very correctly, Sanjana was that? Yes, Sanjana very correctly said. Quip basically means a funny retort or saying, okay, or a funny proverb. You understand proverb? Funny saying, retort. That's called a quip. So generally it is funny, but it can be a proverb, it can be a saying. So in banking, there is a funny saying that you follow 363 routine. What is 363? Borrow at 3%, lend at 6%, make 100% profit, and then play golf at 3% at 3 p.m. The statement is basically saying that banking is very simple. Get money at a cheaper rate, lend it at higher rate, make money, chill, relax, don't worry. Correct? That's what it is talking about. Okay. In a globalized scenario, thanks to a flood of easy money, we have always been told that money is hard to earn. What is easy money? Easy money should be the money that we can get very easily, right? For example, we can loot it, or we can borrow it from friends and not return it, or maybe it's the money we find lying on the road. What exactly is easy money? Anybody? Just one liner please, 1-2 words. Hriday M. Rao, no. Quip is not that. Rule of thumb is not that. Okay. What is easy money, by the way, guys? Muskan Goyal, good morning. Easy money. Our parents always said that you have to work hard to get money. What is easy money? Okay. Hriday says, okay, good. Hriday, good. But I was waiting for some more answers. Yeah, Gargi says black money. Black money. Like all the money that we see politicians getting caught with, huh? Cash, 2000 rupee notes. Black money. Okay. Easy money for transaction. Black money. No. Okay. So please remember, easy money basically means money at lower interest rates. Okay. Interest rates. So what is the dear money then? I hope you understand what is dear money. Dear money is the money you get at higher interest rates. In Indian villages, there are people, they are loan sharks basically. They give loans at 5%, 10% interest per month. Right? That's called dear money. Very expensive money. Okay. Easy money is that you can get at a lower interest rate. Very good. All right. So Debadrita, clear? In a globalized scenario, thanks to a flood of easy money. So pay attention everybody, in a globalized scenario. So the world has become global and there is a flood of money available at lower interest rate. And why is it so? Why is it so? In a policy adventure of pandemic proportions. Now pay double attention. First thing you would notice is the word adventure is used here. Right? Now let me ask you guys. Tell me, is the word adventure used here in a negative sense or positive sense? We go to adventure parks, right? We tell ourselves, let's do some adventure. Let's go on a trekking to Mount Everest base camp. That's positive. But is this word adventure positive here? Please read and tell me, everybody. Muskan, are you on the app and on the YouTube at the same time? Because I think you are, right? Is it the same Muskan? Very good. Yes, correct. It's a negative word. Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, adventure here is a negative word. Very good. Yes. Now understand this part, everybody. Thanks to a flood of easy money at lower interest rate. And what is the cause behind it? The cause is mentioned. The cause is in a policy adventure of pandemic proportions. The author is very smartly using the words to show that during the pandemic, what happened was government wanted to put money in the economy, right? What was the policy? Put money in the economy. Why? Because all the businesses had stopped. People were not getting paid. Businesses were either closing down or they were closed. So people needed money. So what did government do? They printed money. They printed money like crazy. Now, how do you make sure people get the money in their hands? Government cannot say, okay, come and take the money. No. So government said, okay, take the money at very low interest rate. That policy, which was pandemic proportion, it shows how big the policy was, or maybe how flawed the policy was, how bad the policy was. And it was a huge policy. And the mistake was also a huge one. Adventure was also of a huge proportion. Government lowered the interest rate. When it lowered the interest rate, money reached the people's hands. Correct. It says some rates got dunked into the minus zone. Do you understand? Negative interest rate loan. Do you understand this? Is it even possible? Do you understand the meaning of this? Negative interest rate loan basically means that if you take the loan, suppose government says you take 1 lakh rupee loan, okay, and if you take the loan, you don't have to pay any interest. We will pay you 5,000 rupees at the end of loan period. So you take 1 lakh rupees, you pay it back in 1 year. Okay, once you pay back the loan in 1 year, we will pay you 5,000 rupees. How about that? That's called rates getting dunked into the minus zone. Can you imagine? And it happened actually. It happened in countries like US. Japan has always seen this. In Japan, the property market interest rates are generally in negative. If you take a home loan there, government will pay you money. Think about going to a new country. So is it clear, everybody? And I'm pretty sure for some of you it could be a new thing also. If you have not been reading, it might be surprising for some of you. Yes or no? Okay, Muskan. Okay, I get that. All right. So it is actually possible and it actually happens. Okay, government will not tell you that we are giving you negative interest rate. What they say is we'll give you a bonus, or we will give you some kind of incentive. They'll say cashback. Cashback is basically this only, right? Okay. Now it says lazy banking need not translate into lazy investing. Just because government is becoming lazy with the banking, investment should not have become lazy. But the drift is clear in this caricature. Caricature is a joke of our recent unicorn chase. Now let me ask you guys, what is the tone of the author? Is the author happy with this entire scenario so far? I hope it is very clear, right? Author is clearly not happy. Look at the language. Author says lazy banking need not translate into lazy investing. Just because banking is lazy, you don't have to invest like a lazy person. But the drift is clear. Drift is clear means which way we are going, it is clear. Drift is clear in this joke of our recent unicorn chase. Now question is, what is this unicorn chase? I think you guys can very easily figure it out. Can you tell? Shruti, yes, that's correct. Can you guys tell me what is unicorn chase? Is this author talking about going to jungles and going to very weird places and running after unicorn? Unicorn is a horse with a horn on its head, right? That's unicorn. What is this unicorn chase? The author says joke of our recent unicorn chase. Running towards money. Sanjana says running towards money. Anybody else? I will wait for some time. Gargi, good one. Yes. Yes. On the chat, Muskan, Stuti, etc. Very good. Now you got it. Yes, Hriday, that's correct. Unicorn chase. So first of all, I think you guys know unicorn basically is a company, generally a startup with $1 billion valuation, right? So when the company is valued at $1 billion, it is called a unicorn. It should be a startup, right? Unicorns are very rare. So a startup with a $1 billion valuation is also called a unicorn, correct? So now look at this line, everybody. You would understand the author's main point straight away. Author says, lazy banking need not translate into lazy investing, but the drift is clear in this joke of our recent unicorn chase. Author is saying the entire investing community is just running after billion-dollar startups. They just want to create them somehow. They don't care about anything. They just want to create billion-dollar startups. Now, how do they do that? That's written in the next line. Get funded today. So get the funding because money is cheap. Burn your stash tomorrow. Stash is the amount of money you have. So get the funding at cheap rate. Burn it to buy a customer base, and after that sell it off, in cash it. the day after. This is how startups are being made. That is what the author is saying. What do? You take money from X, then you use that money to get a huge customer base. Then you sell that stake to someone and then you run away. You have built a unicorn. Congratulations. But then the author says, reality is far more complex, of course. But among online startups, money for the asking almost rang true for a bit. Look at this line. Reality is complex, but among online startups, money for the asking almost rang true for a bit. Money for the asking means money was cheap. Among online startups, money for the asking means you just ask for money, you would get it. It was that cheap. It was so easily available. But only for a bit. Money was available for some time only. Now pause here everyone and tell me, what do you think the author will talk? Don't read this, and even if you have read, don't worry. When the author's last line is, money for the asking almost rang true for a bit. Cheap money was available for a bit, not for a long time, for a short period of time. What do you anticipate in the next paragraph? My job is to teach you how to read, okay? And anticipation is one of the best way to read with a lot of concentration and better understanding. Can you tell me what can I expect here even if I don't read this part? What can I expect here? Tell me. Let's not read this part. Let's guess. Author said money for the asking almost rang true for a bit. So what do you think the author will talk about here? Yes, everyone. All right, let's see. Absolutely. Some examples, reason, examples, reason, examples. Absolutely. That's correct. It is a yes. Now the author will tell us about how it was available cheaply, then for how long it happened, then what is the case now, or even why it happened. Correct? Very good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gargi, that's correct. Saima, that's correct. Anisha, right. Laiba, that's correct. Devadita, that's correct. Absolutely. Now let's read this part. This part we will read fast. By 2021, venture capital is a company that puts money in new companies. Deals in India were in full bloom. Their value leapt from a quarterly average of 3.1 billion to 5.6 billion in the first quarter by PwC data. PwC is PricewaterhouseCoopers. It's a big accounting firm. It's one of the 4 biggest accounting firms in the world. And then broke above 10 billion for a run that began last July and lasted 3 quarters. Author is already showing that it did not last for very long. It was too good to last. It was so good that it could not have lasted. As an inflation flare-up means increase, forced the start of a US Fed monetary reversal. US Fed means US Federal Reserve. US Federal Reserve is basically the RBI of America. It's a kind of RBI, right? It controls monetary policies. It was started in 1913, if I remember it correctly. It was started in 1913 and it basically controls the monetary policy of US. So they increase or decrease the interest rate. So once US Fed started monetary reversal means US Fed started increasing the interest rate. Once they started increasing the interest rate, VC funding dropped 40% in the 3 months to end June 2022. While early phase fintech funding held up. Fintech is basically those startups which put money in finance related technology like Zerodha, okay, all those companies. And India focused funds may have swelled this year. How long the overall squeeze will last is anybody's guess. Anybody's guess basically means nobody knows. Our startup challenges have clearly steepened. Author is again repeating. Author is saying our challenges regarding startup has become worse. Now let me quickly tell you, if I'm reading this paragraph in actual CLAT, after I read the last line, I already can anticipate what is coming here. I'm not going to read this word for word, and I'm not going to pay attention to all the figures in billion, etc. No, I am just going to read it very, very fast. And I will realize that it is the same point. This is what you have to do when you're reading. Anticipate. Accordingly, adjust your speed. Make it go up or make it go down. Is the point clear, everyone? I hope it is clear. Correct? Absolutely. Yes. Very good. Now let's read the next one. Free credit. Credit is money available. Free credit means interest rate almost zero. At the top of the system did act as a stimulus. So this all was in a way started by free money available at the top. For big investors of capital, it reduced break-even points. Break-even points are points at which you make money, right? So suppose you invest 200 crore and you start earning 210 crore or 201 crore after 3 years. Then you reach break-even point after 3 years. Break-even is when your expenditure or your money you are investing matches the money you are earning. So revenue and expenditure, they become equal. That's break-even point. It reduced break-even points of return to new lows. When your interest rates are very low, your expenditure is also very low. No? So break-even points can be reached faster. Suppose I'm getting money at 0% interest rate. I can invest and I can earn it back faster. So my break-even point is lower. As with any extended glut of capital, glut means abundance. Glut means when you have oversupply of something, right? However, a worldwide hunt for yield among those flush with funds. Money was available at a cheaper rate. So naturally, people who had money, they wanted to invest it so that they can get return. They started looking for it. Hunt for yield. Yield means return. Among those with money would surely also have driven riskier bets. Now just imagine everybody. Everybody in the world has lots of money. Now what will they do? They will want a place where they can invest and get the money back. Now when you have a lot of money, what do? You become a little crazy. You take riskier bets. So suppose you have a lot of money. Suppose you have 5 lakh rupees. So you'll think, okay, I will buy a car and make it an Ola cab. But suppose you have $5 billion. Then you would think about buying probably planes and starting a plane company, correct? You will take riskier bets. But suppose you have $200 billion, then you would say, okay, I'll go to Mars, right? And start my city there. So you have 200 crore, you become a builder in Delhi NCR. You have $200 billion, you become a builder in Mars. You become riskier. You take riskier bets. Some of these wagers are bets, might have had an expiry date set by Fed policy switch. Now this line is very interesting. It says some of these bets were already pre-decided in terms of ending. When will they end? When cheap money supply is gone. If there is no cheap money supply, you don't have money. And if you don't have money, how will you take bets? So they were in a way controlled by the Fed policies, which explains today's anxiety over a big rout. Rout is a washout, complete failure, right? It's a complete washout, wipeout ahead as rates of interest rise. So the moment the interest rates go up, all these businesses, all these bets, they are going to be out of market. I'm pretty sure you are able to figure out every single sentence, and you can also see how the author is basically talking about the same single sentence. The author is saying interest rate hike will create a lot of problems. Interest rates were low, that created the startup boom. Interest rates are going up, it will impact all this for sure. Are you with me till here, everybody? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat box. Correct? Okay. Suti Muskan, yes, I just read your comments on the app also. All right, good enough. So let's go to the next one, next slide. Now it says, not all VCs, venture capitalists or venture capital players, will feel the same heat. Now again, read the first line, everybody, and tell me what do you think the author will write next. Just don't read the next part. Let's guess it. Okay, can we guess the next part? Let's pretend we have not read the next paragraph. Okay, read the first line and guess, and then we can read very, very fast. Okay, not all VC players will feel the same heat. Even if interest rates go up, all VC players, all venture capitalists will not feel the same heat. So probably the author will explain, yes or no? Yes, author will tell us why it will happen. So author will probably say that X kind of VCs will feel the heat, Y kind of VCs will not feel the heat. Then the author will tell you why it is so. Correct. Now we can read it very, very fast. Absolutely. Hriday, yes, something like that. Let's find out what the author is going to say. Okay, so let's see. Not all VC players will feel the same heat. Large investors tend to operate as risk spreaders. Risk spreaders are basically those who invest money across multiple businesses, multiple startups, right? So suppose I have, like, $5 billion. So what will I do? I will invest 10 million each into hundreds of startups. 1 billion is 1000 million, right? So I'll invest 10 million here, 10 million there across 500 businesses. Now suppose out of those 500 businesses, 499 fail, but one of those businesses become Amazon. My 5 billion becomes 200 billion. Yes or no? Because I spread my risk properly. Because I was a big businessman. I was a big investor. But suppose you are someone with $1 million, or let's say $5 million in your fund. Okay. Now what do? You invest in one company, right? That company fails. You are gone. Completely out of business. So if I'm a large investor, I can spread risk with portfolios diversified to ensure that a few smash hit ventures can make up for the pile up of duds. Duds, you understand, failed companies. Many online plays have been in winner takes all markets, where success demands a do or die scale up. For the data gathered to attain critical mass and form a competitive edge, this had to be done fast. So big money spent on customer swoop-ins made strategic sense. But such grand plans now have to contend with a phase of costlier capital. So author says that if you're a big business, you would invest in a lot of companies, and it required you to have an approach where you spend a lot of money, acquire all the customers, like Zomato and Swiggy are doing. Spend a lot of money, acquire all the customers. Correct. Customer sweep in basically means swoop in. Swoop in is to attack and grab customers. It was required. Okay. But now interest rates are going up. Again, the same point. Interest rates are going up. Now what will happen? Probably these companies won't have money. So how will they operate now? If you're a big business, you might still operate, but if you're a small one, you are out. Now what the author says, as the math gets redone means interest rates are getting changed. Startup valuations have been shaken. Public issues put off. Public issues are share market issues or IPOs, and austerity adopted. Austerity is when you don't spend money. Unicorn startups or otherwise business plans that are not Rate rise and slump resistant. Rate rise and slump resistant basically means you do not get impacted by interest rate up or down. Stand to get exposed as the tide of liquidity turns. Liquidity means cash availability in the market. So as the cash availability in the market changes, those companies which are not interest rate resistant will get exposed. Probably they will also close down, because where will they get the money from? Earlier it was available freely, now it's not available. They will close down. Control over cost bloats. Bloating basically means when it becomes too much, becomes very big. So you need control over cost. Bloating was only to be expected, but there may also be space for shifts of strategy in some cases. In fields like fintech, notably, value creation models need not be size driven, but even in other fields of play for startups, paths to profit could draw upon the value of an idea in itself. Need fulfillment is still the basic game. Correct, everyone? So let me pause and ask, did you understand the author's overall main idea? What is the author talking about, trying to convey throughout the passage, through the entire passage? What do you think is the author's main idea? Can you send me the main idea in one line? Let me see if you have understood it. Those on the app, try doing that. Muskan, Suti, etc. Try typing it on your own. One line to explain why did the author write all this? Where was the author taking us? Try doing that. Now, Laiba says economic statistics in India. Okay. I talked about it on Monday also. I'll talk about it today as well. I asked central idea, right? And one answer I got was economic statistics of India. Now, Laiba, let me ask you a question. I asked the question on Monday also. Suppose I go to a restaurant and I eat Thai noodles. Okay. And when I come out and you ask me, what did you eat at the restaurant? And if I say, I ate food, you will definitely agree that this is not a wrong answer. But how good is this answer when I ate Thai noodles and I answer food? Do you understand the problem in such kind of an answer? What is the central idea of the author? Economic statistics of India. Right? What is the problem with this kind of an answer? And remember, if you answer like this here, your answers when you attempt multiple choice questions will also go wrong. 100%. This is a big problem that we need to fight. Okay. Shruti says food is a wider term. That's correct. Absolutely. Higher interest rate is big problem in various spheres. Anisha, nope, not at all. Author is explaining the reality of corporate affairs. Sanjana, nope. How the easy money has caused problems. Hriday, much better answer. How interest rate will affect a company. Yashaswi, not really, but not very bad also. Okay. High and low interest can affect companies. Preeti, no, not really. No. And this is, remember, now pause everyone and think. This is the reason why in English section and in critical reasoning section, your answers go wrong because of a very simple reason. And understand the reason. The reason is you never try to be specific. You always think in broader terms. Let me give you another example. Suppose a paragraph is talking about the COVID let me just write it here. Suppose a paragraph you are reading talks about COVID and its effect on health. Okay. And if I ask you what is the paragraph dealing with, what is the author's main point, and if you say it is COVID problem. Now COVID can be a problem for the economy, for the family which is suffering, for the individual who is suffering, for the body which is suffering. Now if you say COVID problem, what kind of an answer is that? That's an absolutely useless answer. You have to be absolutely specific vis-a-vis the paragraph. Suppose you read a paragraph and it talks about the impact of climate change in Russia. And if I ask you what is the paragraph talking about, you say global warming. If you do it like this, your accuracy will never improve. That's the problem. Because when you are solving MCQ questions, when you have multiple choices, you have to eliminate. No? How do you eliminate? By being specific, as specific as the paragraph is. Right? Now, let me give you 4 choices. And now let's see if you can get it. Alright? You have read the paragraph. Please read the options and tell me which one would you mark as the central idea of the paragraph. Laiba says banking system during pandemic. Laiba, the paragraph was about banking system. Are you sure? Read the options and tell me the correct answer, everyone. Tuti on the app, yes. Good. Much better answer. Alright, Abhinav Kumar has answered already. But let me wait for others to answer. Okay. Good that I'm getting answers. Now, pay attention everyone. I'm going to quickly explain. The first part tells you that money was cheaply available. Second part tells you because of that investments were freely available. Third one was saying that because of that doing business, starting startups were very easy. Then it says, but with increasing interest rate, only those VCs will survive which have spread their risks properly. And at the end it says, with the interest rise, you have to fulfill needs in the market to exist. You cannot exist just because you are a startup and you have free money. You can exist if you are a startup, you have easy money, but more importantly, you also have something to offer. If you have nothing to offer, you are not going to survive. This is the whole point of the author. So my question was, is it about banks? Banks were mentioned, but the paragraph is not about banks. Is the paragraph about companies? It's not even about companies, it's about startups. And the word only makes it extreme, you know that, right? Already. Damage is very strong word. Now look at option 1. It talks about doomed. It talks about startup, but it talks about doomed. Author says no, it may survive. If it's a big company, it can survive. If it has a product to offer, it may survive. Easy money is changing its trend. Easy money is not available. New Indian ventures means startups are under pressure, but businesses with viable models, they may survive. Interest rates are going up, startups are under pressure, but if they have a good model, they may survive. That is what the author is saying. But if you read the paragraph and you thought it's about banking, you are getting it wrong 100%. And this is what you're not supposed to do. Is the point clear, everyone? Did you understand the point I was making in terms of how the author can get you kind of make you choose wrong options if you don't pay attention to what is the author's main point? Just because it starts with bank, it doesn't mean the paragraph is about banks. The paragraph is not even about companies, it's about startups. It's about how money easily available earlier made a difference. Now money is dear, money is expensive. Now how will that impact? So very clearly the story is very different from what it looks like. I hope it is clear. Correct? Alright, try the next one. Which of the following is the tone? Expected question. What do you think is the tone, everyone? Let's see quickly. Muskan, Stuti, Kriti, yes, I saw that. Hriday, that part is over. Let's try this question. Stuti, Kriti, both have answered. Good, very good. Saima, yep. Muskan, yes. Saryom, Awadh, yep, absolutely, very good. Now the good thing is that you guys have displayed good understanding of words also. Callous means indifferent. It's a negative word. Indifferent, you don't care. Like, some people drive in a callous manner on highways or on roads. Don't care about others. Indifferent, apathetic. Derisive basically means disparaging, or derisive can also mean very, very heavily criticizing, okay, showing contempt. The author is not doing that anywhere. The author is not indifferent. Imploring basically means entreating, saying please, 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 okay. So requesting, the author is not doing that also. The only option left is expository. Very well done, guys. Expository basically means when the author tries to explain something, okay, when the author tries to explicate something or gives you details about something, makes you understand something, that is called expository. Very good. It's clear. Laiba, is it clear? Laiba, I think you need to work on your vocab also. Next one. Which of the following is not a synonym of the word above? Dunk is the word. We have seen the word dunk. I did not explain it properly back then because I wanted to ask you a question later, but I hope you get it. Yes, please. What is the answer, everyone? Let's see who gets the first correct answer. Preeti B, Suruchi D. Yashaswi D, Anshuman B, Sijan A, Muskan D, Stuti B, Kriti D, Asmita D, Malia D, A. Okay, I'm getting all sort of answers. Okay. Dunk basically means to forcefully put something somewhere. Okay. For example, you can dunk your biscuit in your teacup. You just dunk it. Okay. You take your friend's head and dunk it in a bucket of water during Holi. Don't do that. Just giving an example. Okay. Dunk is that. In basketball, you can dunk the ball in the basket. Okay. Suppose your friend gets a new phone and you don't like the new phone, you dunk it in water. Don't do that. Just giving an example. Okay. So it can mean to immerse. Drench means to get something completely wet. You can dunk, for example, you dunk the biscuit in tea, it gets completely drenched or completely sloshed, completely wet. That is drench. Or you can slam it also. Dunk somebody's head in water. Slam. Slam is like, forcefully put it. But it does not mean reject at all. Okay. Therefore, the correct answer is D. Not a synonym. Well done, guys. If you got it right, you have done a good job. D is the correct answer. Yes, Kriti, that's right. Muskan, Suti, absolutely. Well done. Whatever examples I gave, please don't try them at home. Not advisable. Okay. All right, this one is easy. Wager. Which of the following is a synonym of the word above? Very simple. Wager. I have answered the question already. Okay, but I just thought I'll ask you. Let's see who answers it correctly the first. I'm waiting for the first correct answer. A, B, Sanjana B, Muskan A, Anisha A, Anshuman B, A, B, Saima B, Suti no. That is why I gave the question, no? When we dump something, we reject it. Okay, dump. Some of you will experience that in your life. That is dump, not dunk. Okay, but after getting dumped, you might dunk something on the person's head. That's a different matter. Okay, A, B. Okay, so the fight is between A and B. I'll tell you the correct answer. It's very simple. Wager is basically a bet. Okay, it's basically a verb, but it basically means a bet. Okay, I'll wager that today it will rain. I'm putting a bet. Okay, a bet on the other hand basically means to support. Abatement of suicide you may have heard of, right? Abate is to decrease. The flood has abated. Abut is to be next to something. For example, my enemy's house abuts my house. If your enemy lives by your next door, it's called abut, A-B-U-T. Okay, very different meaning. Very good. A is the correct answer, not a bet, it's bet. I think some of you thought it's a bet without a gap. Is that so? Because I can see it from your answers. All right. Anisha, that's correct. Yes, guys, that's absolutely correct. I think that's all from my side today. No. I have one more question left. Yes, please. Glut. It's not gut, huh? Glut. Very simple. Last question. The Badrita, that is the implied meaning. Abet actually means to support. Okay. And therefore, it can also mean insight. Suppose you support somebody says, I want to commit suicide, and you say, it's a good idea. You are instigating, supporting the person. Absolutely. Yes, please. Glut. Which are the following? Glut. These are very common words of English language that appear in different exams. You guys should be very good at these words. There is no denying the fact. Please work on your vocab. A lot of sessions we have taken on vocab also. Please watch them. A D. Okay. Let me see. A D. D. B also. Hridaya says B. D. B. All right, time to tell you the answer. Glut basically means oversupply. Okay. Suppose you are at home today and your family comes and says, okay, what cell phone do you want? And then they present you 10 cell phones and they're like, keep all of them. You have an oversupply of cell phones now, right? You go out and they're like, okay, which car do you want to drive? They have got you 20 cars. Glut. Just for a second, you imagine, you know, you were staying with Ambani's. That's glut. That's oversupply. That's a surfeit. Surfeit is an oversupply or abundance, right? Oversupply. Plethora. Plethora means many different types. I have a plethora of cars. Ambani's statement, not mine. Okay. So glut basically means plethora, surfeit, abundance. Gamut, on the other hand, means a wide choice. It does not mean oversupply. For example, suppose I say a gamut of colors. What I mean is different colors. It can mean different, right? So it is not exactly oversupply. Gamut is basically a collection of choices that you have, different kinds of something. That is called gamut. Therefore, the correct answer is D for yes. Gamut is basically a range, different kind. It's basically a spectrum, okay, or range, different kind of something. Therefore, the correct answer is D for Delhi. You have to find not a synonym. So well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and learning with us here on this channel. If you liked the session, if you found it useful, you think we should continue doing such things for you, please press the like button. It makes us reach more number of people and be more useful. Okay, it doesn't take much time, it doesn't cost you anything. So please press. I want to see the number of likes going up in the session. Please do it right now, and please confirm in the chat that you have done it. Jaldi se, everybody, please do it quickly. Right, I'll see you tomorrow as well. 10 o'clock we'll do another kind of very different kind of article tomorrow. All right, we'll challenge ourselves with vocab and other questions also. Okay, thank you so much for joining me here, everybody. Thank you so much for attending the session. I'll see you again, and if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, and we have plenty of other ways of reaching out, so you can join us there also. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Please take care.